Naomi?
I'm good. You're nailing it.
Thank
Naomi.
you. Naomi, like a
Like
horse.
a horse. Naomi.
You, of course, a local musician. You've been making music for a while. We're not here to talk about that specifically today,
This isn't
though.
about me, Dub.
It sort of is, though, because you, of course, are a booster of the local music scene, and you've started a new thing along with the city of Fort St. John that's very cool. It's already happened once. It's called Music in the Park. Tell us a bit about this and what it is and where the idea came from to do this.
I mean, I think I've been thinking about it for years and years, especially since they built that big, beautiful stage in the park.
Right.
And as a touring musician, I've played so many Music in the Park series that go every year, and they're either funded by the city or the Arts Council or local music festivals. So yeah, I've played Music in the Park in Salmon Arm and Revelstoke and Williams Lake and middle of nowhere, Saskatchewan, all over the place. I was like, why don't we have that? And then it turns out I just had to make it happen myself. And then we got a new arts and culture manager, Erin Griffiths, at the city. So her and I connected, and she was like, that's a great idea. Let's find some money. And yeah, so a couple months ago, I booked 8 concerts. So we're going to run every Thursday from 6:30 till about 8:30. We figured we'll catch people before they go out camping and right after work, so you can pack a picnic dinner, a little charcuterie. Last week there was people there with buckets of KFC. Great idea. It smelled incredible.
Probably distracting for the
Very
artists,
distracting
too,
for the musicians, salivating from the stage. Yeah, so we're doing it. And then Ryan and I started a production company, Bruised Orange, because we've been putting on shows and promoting shows for almost 5 years.
Yeah.
And why not
Yeah.
have a little brand recognition?
Yeah, because you've done a few, I think you've done a few backyard shows, and then, you've got a new house, and it looks like you've sort of got a deck designed specifically for this
When we
season.
were looking at houses, the realtor was like, so are we looking for a house or are we looking for a venue? We're like, well, a bit of both. If we can get both, that would be great. I mean, Uncle Brian tried to convince me to buy the Lido and live upstairs, but that's not in the cards.
No.
So, yeah, we've been doing backyard shows. We've been doing house concerts, I guess probably the whole time we've been together, almost 5 years. And we did a whole concert series at Whole Wheat and Honey before the pandemic, 2018, 2019. And yeah, it just made sense to put a logo on it. Because I think if we can build some brand recognition, maybe people will be more likely to take a chance on an artist they don't know or they haven't heard of, and they'll see Bruised Orange and be like, oh, they put on good shows. We'll take a chance. I mean, in my opinion, we put on incredible shows. There's never been a flop.
Right. I think that's the key, because I know the first one that happened last Thursday was Eric Clark and Ryan Sebastiano, local artists. This one's a touring artist who's sort of the one that's happening tomorrow. Unknown maybe isn't the right word, but a touring artist who's out there playing gigs. Just this is what they do. They put out a couple albums or whatnot. They've played near here a couple times, I think, if I remember
they played
right.
in Charlie Lake last year.
Yeah.
At the pub, and then they're playing the festival this weekend in Hudson Hope. So it just made sense to stop in and play a show on your way. So yeah, I've booked a mix of local regional acts and touring acts, and I've tried to be really conscious of diversity and representation. So I think it's going to be a nice mix of all kinds of music and all different ages of performers and genders and, the whole shebang.
That's right. So it's not necessarily all going to be folk rock. It's kind of like that weird, although folk rock means so many different things, but it's not always just going to be someone with an acoustic guitar. It'll be different genres, different flavors, different moods. And I mean, these people are excellent musicians, which is really
they're
the
all
coolest thing about
independent touring artists. And the thing I always try and remind people is there was a time when somebody took a chance and went and saw Tom Petty, and that name didn't ring a bell. Everybody has to start somewhere. And myself, I am so connected to that independent touring scene. So I have all these friends and these artists that I'm aware of that I can't believe people don't know. They're so talented. And I think Music in the Park is the perfect situation because it's free. So what are you risking, And if it rains, we're going to move over to Festival Plaza. That's what we did last week. And then, of course, it didn't rain once we set up there. But, yeah, we had almost 100 people out last weekend, and the weather was dicey, so I'm hoping tomorrow night it's supposed to be 22 degrees and sunny. Hopefully it'll be good.
Awesome. All right, so it's Thursday nights at 6:30, always at Centennial Park, of course, unless it rains. The best way to keep a track of that is, well, you could see where it's happening, but also follow the City of Fort St. John Recreation Facebook page, but also the Bruised Orange Productions Facebook page as well, for the acts who are coming and for what's happening that night. Anything else people need to know about this in terms of what to bring, that sort of thing?
We're just saying bring your own chair or picnic blanket, bring your own snacks. All city bylaws are in effect, so no excessive drinking or drinking at all, I guess.
I think the latter, but anyway.
Yeah, so you gotta, be friendly and follow all the normal rules. We don't want to ruin it before we even get started, but yeah, it's going to be great. And then bring cash if you want. Most of the artists that I've booked will have merch, a little table set up with all their stuff. Tomorrow night is Half Asian and Amy the Coda, and Coda stands for Child of a Deaf Adult. So Ian is the Half Asian portion of the artist, and they play, I call it dance music, but that makes me sound old. I don't know, synth pop or something. And
fairly upbeat, I would say, right?
Dancey. Kids love this show. It's a great family show. And then Amy is fluent in ASL, so for anybody in our deaf community, it's a like totally accessible show, and kids really love it. Dancing, sign language, it's gonna be sweet.
Awesome. Can't wait for it. Bring cash, as you say. That's probably the easiest way to support an artist you like, is buy some of their merch. That goes
and they
right
have
into their pocket.
very cute merch. Amy makes incredible silkscreen T-shirts and all sorts of apparel.
Awesome. All right, music in the park tomorrow night at 6:30 at Centennial Park. Make sure you check it out. Follow Bruised Orange Productions on Facebook for more info. Naomi, thanks so much for being here today. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for pronouncing my name right.
You're very welcome. I was practicing beforehand.
Perfect.
This community interview is supported by your Member of Parliament, Bob Zimmer. Stop by his office in Fort St. John at 9916 100th Avenue and in Dawson Creek at 10421 10th Street.